Okay, welcome everyone. We're going to get right into the stock market technical analysis. I'm going to show you guys what I see today and where things are possibly heading. Again, at the end of the day, nobody knows where the market's really heading. We're going to use the charts to be our guide, and then we're going to manage our risk. Okay, we don't want to go too heavy into any one position, because one thing is 100% accurate is the fact that nobody is going to be accurate all the time. Okay, so we don't want to get cleaned out on the one bad trade that we make. So again, position sizing is important. I'm going to start out today with the triple Qs, guys. Tech sector. Now, a couple of things. So we gapped down this morning, basically. We haven't really gone anywhere today. It's really been kind of a just kind of a sideways to slightly down day, but nothing super impulsive. So the gap down came, and we just kind of been trading out, looking at this hourly chart here sideways. One thing I'm watching is this trend line right here. I kind of moved it around a little, but it's still valid, I believe. And this is the hourly chart. This is really coming off of kind of this range back in mid-May, basically. And we're just right there. So we should hold right in this area, but there is one thing I want to point out. Okay, we've got a gap, and this gap's just been hovering here. It's about 301. It's right there. It's just right below. We've got a gap to potentially fill. All right, the target that I had for my profit target was 318. If I can mark it out, it's right there. 318, 317.75, somewhere right in there. And we're right in the middle of the range, basically. So in the short term, it really could go either way. I could see this playing out, in there's basically two ways I could see this playing out. One, we could hold here and we could rally up, all right, and just run up, hit that 318. If we did that, it's likely going to extend our negative divergences. So you'll see here, we've got negative divergence. This was a divergent high. We gapped down. If we run up and hit 318, we'll just extend our negative divergence. I'm kind of leaning that way. That's the way I think it's going to go. Because of this trend line here and the fact that, you just barely have this negative divergence. It just showed up. I think maybe we get one more divergent high and then it rolls over. But yeah, it could go either way. The other way it could happen is we could break, run down, fill the gap. Okay, this is an objective area to buy if you're, to go long down here. And then maybe from there we just run up. Maybe we do this back test thing like this and grind higher over time and hit this 318 in the future. Maybe kind of go sideways for a little bit and then it runs up and does that. And we hit 318 from a back test of this trend line here. That is possible as well. Or maybe we just never hit 318, all right? Again, we're in a bear market. We know that this rally that we've recently had is a bear market rally. We don't know for sure, but the probability says that it is. And objective targets, profit targets, oftentimes fall short in a bear market. So our target right now is this 318. We got yesterday to 314.61, and so far we've fallen short. So that's what I'm looking at. Just be quick to move, because we could go either way. Okay, so moving on, let's look at the IWM, small caps here. Same thing. So this trend line I haven't modified, and here's your hourly chart. This is we're just walking up this trend line here. We have negative divergence, all right? That showed up basically yesterday. I talked about that in my end of the day recap video. But we haven't broken trend, and I think we're going to shoot up to make another high and continue this divergence. So maybe we hold here and it rallies up to about 192. And then there's also this downtrend line. This is the bear market trend line. All right, so this started back in November of 2021, and this is the trend line. This is our bear market in small caps. I've got every single reaction marked out, so we could rally up and maybe hit that trend line again. Okay, so I think we're due for another rally up here, and that's the way I'm leaning, but just again, that bear market thing, we oftentimes don't hit our objective targets. The sellers step in early. SPY here, this is the trend line I had on SPY on the hourly. We've kind of broken that on the gap down. but we're holding this first support level at 410. So like this looks like it maybe wants to rally and do a back test of that trend line. All right, so that's the way I'm leaning on SPY, is we kind of chop sideways, then we rally up, do a back test, make a new divergent high. All right, this is negative divergence, and we'll continue to hold that negative divergence likely if we rally soon. And that's the way I'm leaning there, is rally up there. Where do we go on SPY? Well, you know, we've got this pretty clean target right there at about 430. So maybe we drift sideways and kind of work our way up there, hit that 430, or get close at least. And, you know, I think that's probably all I'm going to shoot for right now on this rally. We've caught most of the rally. Again, on triple Qs, if I go back here, you know, we were long way down here. We got most of it. So, you know, it's not as good of a trade to the long side now that we're getting closer to our final targets, or at least our near-term targets. So, moving on. Okay, couple short. These were potential long setups, but they haven't triggered yet. ZG, still really the same thing. You can see here, we've got this downtrend line. This is coming off on the daily chart off November 1st of 2021. Lots of reactions. We had another tag of resistance and another one. So no buy signal, no breakouts. But we have bullish divergence. So just, I see stuff like this, you know, that has sold off but hasn't really broken out yet. And it just tells me that maybe there's one more move in this rally that we've had, where these things will start to break out and we'll see some sort of impulsive move higher. You're set up bullish, so we just need to see that breakout, but no buy signal. And Roku, you know, we got a couple whippy signals here, right there. We started to break out, but it just wasn't that impulsive. In the video, I talked about how I wanted to see just a little bit more, and it just wasn't quite impulsive. I was looking for, you know, if we would have closed up here at 97.90, that would have been a buy signal, but we didn't. We sold off and we closed too close to the trend line. And then yesterday, you know, or today, selling down. So really the same thing. No breakouts, no buy signals. We bought, you know, originally I bought Roku down here. We traded it up to here, closed the long position, and then I was looking for that breakout above. We just don't have it yet, but we do have bullish divergence. It's definitely set up for the breakout, just no buy signals yet. So we'll keep an eye on it. Okay, and then Netflix. So Netflix, nothing's really wrong here on this chart. You can see we're just, let me go to the hourly here. We're uptrending, all right? Moves down to this trend line would be the area there it's objective to go long on or add to a position. And I still think, you know, we've got resistance right there. We've got 204.50. We hit it yesterday. We've been rejected. You know, we're just not able to break it, but we're still in an uptrend. So whether it's a pullback, we hit that and then rally, I think we're going to break this trend line. And that this again tells me that because there's nothing really, there's no damage here, no technical damage to this rally, tells me that we've got one more move higher in the major indices. Which means, you know, and someone asked me, and a subscriber said, how can I see triple Qs getting to 318 and then selling down, and Netflix running up to maybe this gap entry here at 245.80 or whatever? Well, it just depends on how triple Qs gets to 318. If triple Qs just kind of stalls out and goes sideways, Netflix could rally while we're just stalling out and going sideways in triple Qs. And then maybe triple Qs just finally rallies up to 318, and that helps carry Netflix up to its target. It's all about how it gets there and in what time frame. Triple Qs, if it's not selling off and just going sideways, means this one could rally. It doesn't have to just go sideways. So, you know, a lot of different situations can happen, but I just have to rely on the charts. It's all I have, basically. And as of right now, I don't see any technical damage to this chart. I'm looking to maybe add to a position right here on the tag of this trend line. Now, again, the trend line is not that well defined since we only have two reactions. Ideally, I'd like to see a third. The best, if you want to wait and you want to be a little more conservative, you could wait for it to bounce, wait for it to break this trend line, this level right here, 204.70 about. You get a nice hourly candle breakout above there. That's going to set this up for a move, probably a pretty swift move right up to that gap entry about this 247-ish level. Okay, so that's one way to play it if you're a little hesitant. Okay, before I continue, guys, I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow morning, right around 9:15 in the morning Pacific time. So join in if you're interested. Bring any kind of stock charts, picks you want me to look at. I usually spend about an hour going through subscriber stock picks, giving you my analysis on those. So hope to see you there. And then again, drop me a thumbs up in this video, guys, if you find value. And if you're interested, check out my stock market technical analysis course. I go through it every day and talk about the value that it brings, but check that out. It's not going to give you, I'm not going to be right on every trade, okay? This isn't a cure-all. I'm not going to say, oh, I can just be right every single time because I know the magic way to analyze charts. That's not what this is about, okay? What it's really about is I can give you a tool set that can help you mitigate risk. It can help you put the probabilities in your favor, and it can really help you have a trading plan so that you know when you're right and you know when you're wrong. It'll help you be wrong small and right much larger, and also give you the ability to get into trades that have a higher probability of success. Okay, and that's what you need. We got to play this like a casino. We need to put the odds in our favor, and then we need to mitigate risk when we know we're wrong. And that's the best I can do. And so check that out. That all those tools and skills and training sessions are in that course, and I priced it affordable. Okay, guys, moving on to gold here. Nothing really in gold. I mean, look, this is just sideways. We're right here at this trend line, kind of chopping around. There's just no definitive direction yet, but I think the direction's up. Again, just bigger picture. We're in a bull market starting back in 2018. All right, we had a big long correction. This is kind of this corrective wedge. I've got tags of this resistance. We broke out and we're back testing. And this to me is just a accumulation period where we're consolidating, building support, and we should take off to the upside. That's what should happen. Doesn't have to, but that's where the probability lies. And the miners in general look constructive as well. I mean, I'm looking at some of these silver miners today, like AG. This thing was up yesterday about 10%. Today it's down a little, and this is exactly what I talked about in my video yesterday. I thought we'd probably get a little bit of a pullback because we kind of had this little gap here, and but nothing major. You just breakout candle, kind of pull back, and we should continue higher. So I'm seeing higher prices, whether, I don't know if that starts next week. We might just consolidate for a few days. I don't exactly know the time frame, but it's constructive. PayPal, so this one has a bullish setup, not actionable yet. We're just going to take this little thing here and move it down here. We're at resistance. So you can see here, basically you've got resistance, resistance, resistance. So that's a downtrend line. It's actually making a bullish falling wedge pattern, something like, we could just mark it like that. Oh, if I can grab the right thing here. And basically, sorry guys, this thing's all over the place. And it's a bullish falling wedge pattern that is basically hasn't played out yet. So we have bullish divergence. You'll see here on the RSI, the PPO, we've got bullish divergence right there. Sorry, I got to reset my chart, but there it is. See, it's moving up, and price is making new lower lows. So we need a buy signal. We need a break out of this downtrend line. We don't have it yet, but this is definitely a bullish setup, and that's what tells me we're likely going to get, one more move up where some of these things start to break higher. That's really all I have for today, so I'm going to leave it there. You guys drop me a thumbs up on your way out, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.